My Hero Academia Season 6 will finally save the anime and make Season 5 just one bad dream. My god, Season 5 was just the start of this endless nightmare. Well, Season 6 is out, and despite this being what most people consider My Hero Academia's peak, to me, My Hero Academia is going to die with this season. About a year ago, I made a video about Season 5, and all of its pitfalls. But at the end, I had hope. I really wanted to believe Season 6 could save everything, but nope. My Hero Academia as a franchise has been driven off of a cliff itself, and at this rate, I really don't know if it's going to be redeemable. And sadly, I think you might think the same thing by the end of this video. Season 5 being awful was, for the most part, acceptable. Even with all of its issues, it still was mostly just set up for the amazing war arc that takes place in Season 6, right? But Bones, I guess, must have not been drinking their milk, because they broke everything. Where do I even start? Let's just talk about the standard My Hero Academia has. Some of the most visually orgasmic fights in all of anime originate from here. Shoto versus Izuku, Muscular versus Izuku, Bakugo versus Izuku, and it's not all Izuku, there's also Endeavor versus High End. And despite some of the issues with this specific arc, Izuku vs. Overhaul was really good. And that's not even counting the two movies that we have that are, in my opinion, better than any of the fights in the anime. But now our fights look like this. Okay, to be fair, some of the fights in the new season really don't look completely terrible, but the fact that the biggest climax of the series is this arc, and this is how it looks, kind of just makes me bitter. Season 2 looked like this. Why can we not have any of that? If any other small anime had My Hero Academia's animation, it really wouldn't be an issue. It's not terrible, but it's not amazing, it's kind of just the average. It's really bearable, but the real issue I have is that it's just so uninspired. I can't imagine that a single person working on My Hero Academia actually wants to be doing it. Every scene just kind of feels bland. Some people might try to say that that's because My Hero Academia is generic, and I beg you, read the manga. Tell me that this arc felt bland. I beg you. Almost every scene so far is just some character doing something and then we see a long still frame of them. It's so repeatable. Don't get me wrong, My Hero Academia has always done this, just not to this degree. Every episode just feels like they copy and pasted this effect over and over and over. It makes it feel so, for lack of a better word, corporate. I feel like My Hero Academia is just becoming something they can just make money off of and milk forever, so they just don't care. They know people will watch it. Before I say this, I know these two series are drastically different in time allotted and the teams that work on them, but just take a look at anything in Mob Psycho. I bet you $1 bajillion that any scene you click will be better. Let's go to a random episode and click any scene, and wow, it actually looks better. These people probably actually care what they're working on. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to say there isn't any good cuts in this season. Like, there really is. I really like this cut from Mirio's return. It's just the vast majority of this season have the issues I've said before, and it's hardly even animated. I will admit, all of that is really nitpicky, and it's almost only just an issue of this being My Hero Academia. But this next thing, I really just don't understand how this even happens. I'm not really sure if Bones understands what atmosphere is, or how to capture it. At least, not anymore. This entire arc is meant to be an extremely dark turn for My Hero Academia. A fall of society, a grim fate that the heroes must overcome. But why is the sky bright blue the entire time? Like, they're not even trying to set the atmosphere that the manga has. It's just normal My Hero Academia. Based on the atmosphere, I couldn't even tell this apart from the school festival. And that makes me question why people really loved Dabi's dance. For me, it's so hard to take seriously. With My Hero Academia's classic textureless rubble absolutely everywhere and its piercing blue sky, I just can't take it serious. And the worst part about all of that is they've done it right before. Season 3 probably has some of the best atmospheric fights in My Hero Academia. Both the All for One fight and the training ground fights are absolutely perfect atmospherically. The atmosphere is dark, gloomy, hopeless. It actually reflects how we're supposed to feel. But this? Am I supposed to be like, la 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 la, it's a beautiful day, ha ha, it's a peaceful day, ha ha ha? Shigaraki is literally killing countless people here, And it's just this. Come on, man, you can't be serious, Bones. Take a note from any other series. It's not hard. And the worst part is, it feels like there's not even an excuse. The common community excuse for the last season feeling kinda meh was the fact that the movie was coming out. But now the common excuse is, well, they only had a year. But really, almost all the other seasons had maybe little over a year. And they look infinitely better. But even after all that, I kind of still have hope. Part 2 of Season 6 is looking much more promising than the rest of it. The opening alone is visually better than anything so far. Like, come on, this shot alone is absolutely stunning. But currently not much has really happened except the prison part, which they actually improved a lot on atmospherically, which actually isn't that impressive. But people will still freak out over it. Like, I still think the atmosphere is much better in the manga, but hey, this is kind of a start. It's just extraordinarily sad to see My Hero fans excited over Bones doing the smallest of things correctly, when we used to get absolute perfection on a regular basis. Honestly though, if they can capture any of the atmosphere that the manga has in the Vigilante arc, I'll be happy with this season. That arc is genuinely my favorite in My Hero Academia, and in most people's opinions, it's the peak. So I guess maybe all hope isn't lost, but if Bones has taught us anything, it's definitely not to get excited. So how do you feel?
Yo guys, if you like this video, check this one out right here. I think you'll like it. And make sure to go follow and subscribe.